Hello everyone, today's video is gonna be all about sponsored display campaigns. So where the sponsored display ads appear, how to create sponsored display ad, what are the targeting options, and what is the proper campaign structure that you need to have. My name is Igor and I'm the co-founder of Amazonia PPC agency. We've been helping Amazon brands scale their businesses since 2016, so let's get into it. So let's first cover where do the sponsored display ads appear. I've typed in the search box pet camera and the sponsored display ad appeared on the search results on the left as this banner ad or skyscraper, and down below you will also see it here, and down below there's a horizontal one at the bottom. After the sponsored brands there's additional sponsored display. Other than that, they're on the product display pages. They have, in my opinion, the most important placement there is. So it's right under the buy box. This is your competitor listing, and with sponsored display ads, you can target their product display pages with this square ad. Additionally, what you should be doing is also having sponsored product targeting campaign, which is this guy here, and additional with sponsored product targeting ASINs ads. You can have all these ad placements here, but let's stick to the sponsored display. So it's pretty eye-catchy because it's right under the right under the buy box, and it's really an eye-catchy type of ad. Also, another interesting point is that sponsored display ads appear off Amazon. It's really hard to find it written somewhere during the creation of your sponsored display campaigns, but I've seen sponsored display ads chasing me around the net, so that definitely works. We don't have a control on where it's displayed, but as a part of remarketing, it definitely works. Now let's go to the campaign creation process. It's pretty simple. So you go to the create campaign on the left, and you're presented with all the campaign types available for your account. Let's go to the sponsored display. Now, I've covered in my previous videos that you should be really having a clear campaign naming structure. Like we use SD as a sponsored display, then dash, then I usually put something like competitor, then competitor name or competitor ASIN if that's a competitor campaign, or any other campaign type. So more on that in the video I already recorded. Next up, you can create a daily budget, whatever you like. I've seen that whenever you have a big budget, Amazon is going to push your campaign more. If you put a $100 campaign daily budget compared to the $5 daily campaign budget, it's going to be different performance. That's just the way it works. Pay to play. Now next up is an option to create an ad group, and similar to what we do with sponsored products campaign type, we only create single ad group campaigns and then single targeting inside. When presented with optimization strategy, now Amazon recently started to add additional options here, but there are mainly 3 of them that you're going to be focusing on. The first one is for reach, and when you click that, you immediately select that your cost type is going to be VCPM, whatever the abbreviation is. It's actually you pay per 1,000 impression views for your ad. Basically, I never recommend doing that because their attribution is terrible. So you'll get inflated results, like your ACoS is 1% or 0.5%. So skip that at all costs. So just scratch that, don't use it, but I just want to cover that. Next up that you can use, for example, if you're in a situation where you want to build awareness of your new product or your brand, then you can select page visits, and then you'll present it with an option to keep your cost per click as like input a target cost per click, and then let the Amazon decide how much it's gonna cost you, and where, as they say, we'll set your bids and their targets while your campaign is running to try to stay at or below a metric value you specify. I don't like it because, as in everything else, I don't like giving Amazon too much of control. They can easily show your show your ad for a product that's highly relevant, where you have a high chances on winning that and get generating sale. And they can do that 100 times for the budget that you provided. But along with that 100 times, they can easily put your product where they feel like it's relevant, but it's completely irrelevant for their own purpose of, I don't know, generating more clicks and costs. So I really like to keep everything manual and select targets, as I will be covering down below. You have an option to select page visits. You can always exclude that and just have a usual CPC campaign type create CPC cost type created for you. Most of the time, you just select conversions, and I also disable the cost control. So I don't set the cost per order value. As I said earlier, I don't like it and don't recommend that doing, but I do recommend testing that, because there's no general rule what works for Amazon PPC, because it's different for each category, it's different for each product. So go out and test and let me know how that works for you. Next up is the ad format. You can select image ad or video ad, and for both options you can select to advertise products to drive to the product detail page, or to select an Amazon store or any sub page of your Amazon store. This can be useful. For example, it's been a week since the Prime Day, the summer Prime Day 2024, and if you had your dedicated Prime Day page on storefront, as you should, then you can easily create select Amazon store as a landing page, and then direct all the traffic to your Prime Day dedicated page on your storefront. Next up is to select the products to advertise, and now we're coming to the most important part. So by default, you have a bunch of options selected here. I never recommend leaving it that way, because it's going to create chaos. By default, you have Amazon added similar to advertise products for you, then similar to advertise products, but with a look back of 30 days. I'll be covering what the look back is. Then your views remarketing, your purchases remarketing, and then purchase remarketing. It's a mess. It's a mess. What you should do is just remove everything that's presented here. Now I'll be covering now all the 4 main targeting options here, and the recommendation is to have separate campaign for each targeting option, because you want to have your budget set on a campaign level that you can control your remarketing campaigns. You want to have a separate campaign targeting only individual products of your competitors, or categories, or a certain brand that you want to chase and attack, or your in-market audiences or lifestyle audiences that we're going to cover. So by separating all that in a different campaign, you get cleaner reporting, you have advanced options on tracking the progress. Now let's cover one by one. Contextual targeting, that's the default one that we in the past only had that one in the past with Amazon advertising. When you go there, you have an option on to search for individual products that you want to target. So let's say we are now creating competitor targeting sponsored display campaign. Then you'll wanna research your competitors through Helium 10, Cerebro, and Black Box tool, and find your most important competitors. You can also use X-ray on this search results page and find your most important competitors. I recommend always selecting those guys who have less reviews than you, or worse reviews than you, or are more expensive than you. So you want to target those guys where you have competitive advantage over them. So you can search for them manually, you can enter a list and target individual products. Second option is to target a certain category. You can automatically add this dynamic segment of similar to the products that you added as advertised and let the algorithm do that for you. What I do recommend is, for example, if you want to target a certain brand, then you can select, okay, let's go step back. You can select to target the whole category. For example, I like pet industry as an example. So we have pet supplies, for example. Then you have birds, cats, dogs. You can add the whole dogs category here, but that's going to be too broad because there are dog feeders, dog food, mattresses, clothing, so many things that if you advertise with dogs as a category, that's going to be a really wide net, and you can really often end up having unprofitable category targeting. But as I said, do test. What you can do is next to the add button, there's a refine option. When you click refine, we enter this secret option. You can select a different brand to target here. So now we have all these brands in the dog category that you can individually target. If it's a big brand, you can even go and target to create a separate sponsored display targeting for each brand, so you can go aggressive if you have budgets for that. Now you can select, for example, I don't know, whatever, X dog here. And then you also have an option if they have too many products, you have an option to narrow down them to a price range, their star review ratings, and if they are Prime eligible or not, or just target all of them. And you just click add. Okay, it asks for a bid. And that's it. Now you're exclusively targeting X dog brand in dogs category, all of their products. It's a really powerful option because it will be too time consuming that you go ahead and research all of the ASINs for a certain competitor and just target them. But please be aware that it may be too broad, but it's narrower than category targeting, but you can refine it to only attack poorly performing products for a certain brand. So that's about contextual targeting. Now let's go further to remarketing audiences. Now there are several options. You can use views remarketing and purchases remarketing. Views remarketing is that you can remarket, show your ads to people who already viewed your product, and you can set a look back window of 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. So people who saw your products in the last 90 days, you want to show them your ad. This is somewhat limited because you cannot exclude those people who already bought from you. So it can be that you're wasting a little bit of money or a lot of money. But in DSP, as you saw in my previous video, that you have you can specifically exclude your previous buyers. But here you can use the views remarketing and select 7 days, 4 days. For classic remarketing, I typically just select the purchases remarketing because it's cleaner. If somebody, it depends on your use case, but if somebody already bought your product and you want them to buy another one, if it's a consumable, then you can go ahead and just see that maybe if you knew that they'll run out of that product after 14 days, then you want to have those like 30 days included. So who purchased in the previous 30 days, or depending on your product, but basically you can also go ahead and show your ads to everybody who bought your products in the last 365 days, so last year. So those are the options for remarketing. And really specific to your actual goal, you will have to select whatever works for you. But for example, you can go ahead and just use views in the last 7 days and just advertise to those who viewed your product. There's an additional option to include similar to advertised products. I don't recommend using this one because it can be too broad, too generic to show your ads to the products that are not that similar to yours, but you can try experiment with those. I haven't seen good results with that. Next up is in-market audiences. So reach audiences whose recent activity suggests that they're likely to buy products in a certain category. So please note in-market audiences difference compared to interest and lifestyle audiences. So these guys are audiences whose recent activity suggests they are more likely to buy, while the interest and lifestyle audiences reach audiences whose shopping and entertainment activity suggests certain interests or lifestyle preferences. So it's a little bit closer. So their shopping activity is targeted, and here in-market audiences are those who are potentially interested to buy your product based on their recent activity. So that's up to Amazon to decide because they're tracking so many things. Let's cover they're pretty much similar, but we can browse a little bit to see. Again, let's go and see what's available for pet supplies. Okay, so aquatics, birds, cats, dogs, horses, live animals, interesting one, fish, reptiles, amphibians, small animals. Let's go for the dogs, and then you can refine to beds, carriers, travel products, colors, and many different options. Let's add, so it's really detailed, as you can see, colors, bark colors, basic colors, so you can really narrow down your targeting options. Depending on how many audiences add here, there's going to be this forecast which is in beta, and don't rely on it, but just you can take a look of expected and forecasted cost and potential orders, but don't take their word for it. Just you can estimate the impressions and clicks you can get, and you can then add additional in-market audiences. You can also go to the search. I think there was a search somewhere. No, it's only browse. No, there is a search over here. So it's similar. So in-market audiences and interest in lifestyle. Let's see what's in the interest in lifestyle for pets. Okay, pet ownership and pets and animals. So it's a little bit different. You can combine those two if you like, because it's a little bit broader. You can go ahead and add in-market audiences, combine in-market audiences and lifestyle audiences into one campaign, and then refine it if needed later on. So you can add pet owners and then refine it even more. For example, because we added dogs, you can then just go ahead, for example, natural dog food shopper. So that's an interesting one. And then you can go ahead and launch the campaign. Now there's also it's important to note that this is a campaign, sponsored display campaign setup for different purposes. So you can use it for remarketing, you can use it for brand awareness, for reach. You can also use and should use your sponsored display campaign for targeting other competitors, as I mentioned, through the contextual targeting. But it's very important to use this campaign type for defensive purposes. What that means, for example, take a look at this one. So this is a product. Imagine that this is your product. You're selling this Under Armour running shoe, and this Fitwheel men's extra wide trainers are bidding on your and attacking your listing. So what you can do is add your own ASIN to your sponsored display contextual targeting. That way you can have your other product appear here. So you're actually paying money to protect this placement from your competitors. And if you do the same with the sponsor product targeting, also targeting your own products, then this will be an upsell for you. So you can have your Under Armour sneaker here, you can have your, I don't know, different variation here and another product of yours here as an upsell. You can sell your shoelaces, or if you into clothing, you can add a hoodie here, and then it's all about you and not about your competitor stealing your market share. So very, very important thing to note. Sponsor display works very well if your product is visually attractive, as this sneaker is, and generally everything in clothing and jewelry and that type of stuff, because it's eye-catchy. If this is a book and you just, I don't know, display a headline, or I don't know, just an open book or something like that, nobody's nobody's attention is gonna be drawn to that. But if you sell jewelry or some clothing, then definitely sponsor display most of the time is going to work for you, because it's just how our brain works. Yeah, one final note as a takeaway is, after you had your sponsor display campaign running for at least a month, then you should go ahead into sponsor display report. So from the report section, just click a drop down, select sponsor display, and play a bit with the reporting. So run a targeting report rather than advertising report and purchase product report to see what was actually happening when somebody clicked on your ad. I'll be covering these kind of reports for sponsor display and other campaign types later on, but in a short Advertise report, you're going to see what kind of products you actually advertised and see the results. And on the purchase product report, you will see which product was actually bought from your catalog when you advertised your original ASIN. And you very often will get surprised by what was the actual product that customers bought. Okay, I hope that I managed to make it more clear for you guys who are struggling to create a proper sponsor display campaigns. Let me know if you need any further clarification or anything in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye, guys.